60 out of 60 in KCET 2026 chemistry examination is not possible by studying everything, but by studying the right thing in the right way. With so many study resources available in the market, smart selection becomes more important than hard work. So in this video, I will clear your confusion and I will give you the best and the most reliable resources for KCET chemistry, and more importantly, I will also teach you how to use these resources so that your preparation becomes more focused, structured and result oriented. Okay, so if you are also planning to get a top mark in KCET chemistry 2026, please watch the entire video and sit with a notebook and pen and note down what all resources you should follow and how to use them. Okay, so let's go here. The first one is the concepts. Okay, so to understand the concepts of chemistry, I can tell you that no other book than NCERT is required. Please follow NCERT book only for your concepts practice. You don't have to refer to any other guidebook, any other reference book, any other foreign author's book. Okay, so please, you have to refer the NCERT book. You can see we have for PU1 we have 2 parts, for PU2 we have 2 parts. Okay, so I can say that for clarity of the concepts, you must refer to these 4 books. Clear? Now, how to use them? Ma'am, do we have to read NCERT line by line? Do we have to solve in-text questions? Do we have to solve exercise questions? So many things are there, okay? So, I'll tell you how to use them. Let's come to first, that is for inorganic chemistry. So, for inorganic chemistry, it is very, very important to read the NCERT thoroughly. Okay, first you have to read NCERT line by line for inorganic chemistry once. Now you have to read it, reread it. Okay, so you have to go for second reading, and at this time you should underline the reasoning, statements and the trends question. Okay, so you know in organic chemistry there are so many trends. For example, if you talk about D and F block element, what is the trend in ionization enthalpy? What is the trend in atomic size? What is the trend in atomization enthalpy? Why the trend happens? What is the reason for that? Why shielding effect is there? So these all things you should read line by line and underline or highlight all the important trends. Okay, the first thing. Second, highlight the important exceptions. So we know that inorganic chemistry is full of exceptions. I'll give you a simple example. Most of the transition elements have the configuration of N-D 1 to 10 NS2, but palladium is an exception here which has a configuration of only D10 configuration is there. So such type of exceptions you can highlight in the book. Okay, next, do in-text and exemplar questions for this chapter. So in-text questions you must revise. I know in-text questions here are, I can say theory based questions, but KCET is MCQ, but still you should be doing in-text questions to understand the concept in a better way. If that same questions is asked in the form of MCQs, you should be able to handle it. And you should do exemplar questions for practicing the inorganic questions, inorganic concepts. Now after that, mark the questions unable to solve. So whichever questions you find was difficult, you should have a notebook where you are putting all the questions. Now lastly, how to make short notes and what should be written in short notes. So for making short notes, you have to prepare a list of trends and exceptions. Like for example, if I want to prepare notes of D and F block, okay, so what all things I can do? I will be writing here, the first thing I will be writing is the atomic size, what is the trend in that, right? So like this, you can just maintain the trend. You can note down all the important trend for inorganic chemistry. Now let's move to the second part, that is organic chemistry. Again, very, very important. So in organic chemistry, you have to read NCERT thoroughly once. Then you have to reread it, okay, and this time what you should do, you have to underline all the important reagents and their functions. You have to underline them. Do in-text exercise questions, and I'll also add exemplar questions here. Okay, when I'm saying exercise questions, especially reaction based, the fill in the blanks questions are there, and you have conversion questions. Okay, so you have to focus on these questions. Reasoning questions you don't have to do for KCET examination, but that is again very important for PU2 examination. Next, you have to do mark the questions which you are unable to solve, and you have to write down in a separate notebook. So then you have to prepare flow charts for preparation and chemical properties in a single page. So I'll show you this, how you should be preparing the flow chart for the reactions, and make a separate note for name reactions and reagents. Okay, so in organic, so I refer that you can have 3 separate notes for physical, inorganic and organic. That will be good for you to revise. So in organic chemistry, if you have the notes, the first chapter for example is haloalkanes, right? So all the reactions, reagents, everything should be written in this particular note. Okay, so I'll give you how to make flow charts. For example, you are writing preparation of alcohol. You have learnt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 methods of preparation. So you don't have to write each and every method. You have to draw these type of flow charts to understand and to summarize it in a smaller area. Okay, now we will move to physical chemistry. So read the NCERT thoroughly once. You don't have to reread NCERT for physical chemistry. What you have to do, note down the important formulas, do in-text exercise questions and mark the questions unable to solve. So whichever questions you are not able to solve, you have to write it separately. And if you are making a notes for physical chemistry, for example, solutions chapter. Okay, so what should be there in your notes? All the important formulas plus examples, right? This should be written in your notes. Now there should be one, so 3 notes are there, physical, inorganic and organic, and 1 note should be there which you should call as error notebook. Okay, I'll discuss about that at the later also, but error notebook is something when I'm saying no, mark the questions which you are not able to solve. These all incorrect questions, difficult questions should be written in one notebook. That are combinedly for physical, inorganic and organic. You can just give the chapter name and write down the wrong questions, difficult questions whenever you are encountering in these particular notebook. Okay. Now we will move to short notes. So as I told you how you should prepare your short notes. For inorganic chemistry, you should focus on the trends, the exceptions and the I can say trends, exceptions and any particular examples are there. For physical chemistry, formulas, and for organic chemistry, reactions and the preparation method, chemical reactions, that should be the main focus. Now prefer hand written notes. Okay, I personally feel that now if you are preparing, you have enough time, so focus on making your own notes, use color codes. So mention only important concepts. You should not be writing too much big sentences, only focus on writing the important keywords. Then try to use more symbols, diagrams and flowcharts, avoid more text, follow different color scheme. Okay, I'll give you an example. You can use different color scheme like this and then you can prepare your own short notes. Okay, now let's move to the next thing, that is previous year questions. So first you have read the chapter, then you have made notes. The third one is solving previous year questions. How are you going to solve? Solve at least last 5 years of chapter wise PYQs. Okay, at this point of time when you are preparing, one chapter is completed, do its previous year questions. Next, give score to yourself. You know how the marking scheme is there for KCET. +1 for every correct answer, 0 for every wrong answer. So just give yourself marks so that you understand what is your level of preparation in that particular chapter. Next, note down the topics of these questions. So when you have already given your scores, after that analyze it and write down question number 1 is from which topic. Chapter, you know, solutions chapter, but is it from Raoult's law, is it from Henry's law, is it from ideal solution, is it from colligative properties? So try to write down the topics of all the previous year questions, and that will give you an important analysis about the most important topics from that chapter. Suppose you are finding colligative properties, 10 questions are there, so that automatically indicates that this particular chapter or this particular topic is very important for KCET perspective. Okay, next, encircle the wrong questions and identify the reason for it. Why did you wrong? What was the mistake? You should be analyzing it and write down the wrong questions in the same error notebook. Okay, you have to use the same error notebook to write down the wrong questions. Next, give a remark about the level of preparation based on the scores. So what is your remark, how much you are scoring? Based on that you have to tell, okay, whether this chapter is my strong chapter, weak chapter, moderate chapter. So you have to give yourself a rating there. Okay, now what all books you can follow from previous year questions? You can follow Disha publication, KCET chemistry, 10 years of PYQs, or you can also follow MTG, this book, Karnataka CET book, that also you can follow. 6,000 plus questions are there in this particular book. Here the PYQs are given year wise. In this book also PYQs are available, but I think it is not year wise. Okay, all the questions are given but not year wise. Which year which question was given, that is not given. So you can follow this or this. So I'll recommend this book because this book you can also use for question practice. Here only previous year questions are there. Okay, Now moving to the fourth resources is mock test. Again, very important for your, I can say, for your understanding and checking the level of preparation. So at least you have to give weekly and monthly week test. Okay, so every week you have completed something, give a test from that. Every month you have whatever you have studied the entire month, give a test from there. Then join any test series before 3 to 4 months of the exam. Now test series means when the entire syllabus is completed. From November, December onwards, you can write the full length mock test. This will be helping you to analyze your level of preparation. Now when you are whenever you are writing this test, make sure that you are writing under exam conditions. Exam conditions means again no calculator, no getting up in between, no phone, nothing. You should be using seriously how you are writing in the exam. In the same condition you should write. Next, analyze your mistakes and write down the mistakes in the error notebook. The same thing, again error notebook is very important, so you have to use it. And keep a record of the scores of all the tests. So this will help you that whether you are improving in your mock test or not. So you should have a track. Test number 1 you got this much marks, test number 2 you got this much marks. So you should have a track of record of all your marks to understand or to analyze your performance. Okay. So for mock test, again as I told you, this book has a lot of questions. So there is KCET Connect, KCET Ready, they have given different titles and so many questions are there. So you can just pick one day, okay, today I am going to give organic haloalkanes and haloarenes chapter. So KCET Connect, 30 questions, 60 questions are there, just try solving them. Okay, that is there. Even sample papers are there, so you can use this. Or else towards the November, December, we are going to release our KCET Abhyas Test Series 2026, which is going to be a full-length mock test. Almost 10 to 15 papers will be there with detailed solution, video solution, and you will also be having doubt clarification classes. So you can even purchase that. For that, like till it is released, you can use this one. Okay. Now this is done. Now we have done concept clarity, we have made our notes, we had already done PYQs, we have done now mock test. Now fifth one is what? After this is important is revision. So what are the sources from where you can revise? From the short notes that you have prepared. Error notebook is very important. Okay, what is your weak point? That is written in this error notebook. So every week when you do questions, just go through error notebook, try to solve those questions again and again, so that your strong that weak points become strong after a lot of practice. And you can do question practice. So whenever you want to do revision, just don't revise notes, just don't see the old questions, try some solving new questions also. So what are my sources here? Error notebook is there, short notes should be there, and again this KCET MTG book you can take, that will give you a lot of questions. So today you can just randomly take 10 questions and solve it. Okay, so that is the type of revision. Question practice is a very good way of revising and also understanding your level of preparation. So whenever you revise, first revise the concepts, see the wrong questions that you have done, and directly 10 to 15 questions you go and solve and check that whether you have remembered the concepts or not. If you have remembered, you will definitely solve it correctly, right? So that is the way of measuring here. So that's all in this video, my dear children. I have told you 5 resources for chemistry: NCERT books, your own short notes, your PYQs, mock test, and then for revision, the 3 resources. Please keep this ready and start preparing according to this. You will definitely get very good marks in KCET examination. All the best, and still if you have any doubts, please put down in the comment section. I'll definitely address it. Okay, thank you for watching and all the very best.